Yeah. I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I just, you know, it seems like everything's okay when you see this stuff. It's just that, you know, it just seems so ordered. Almost temple-like. You like it, don't you? Don't you, Richard? And
Yeah, I love it.
yeah. That's funnily enough why I like our state home in Auckland. It's got a certain symmetry about it. I hate pretentiousness. This is like these nutcases in New Zealand who do all these kind of pretentious artistic things in architecture. I just hate it. It's got nothing to do with it.
When did you know that you wanted to be an artist?
I think about probably about when I was 14. Beautiful. Yeah, about 14, maybe 15, but I suspect 14. And just never really looked back, to be honest. You said looking back. In a few days you come along here, it'll just be the constant whir of leaf blowers. Yeah, I remember when I was at school, I mean, art was the most social class to be in, and I like to be social. You got to sit at a big table, and you know, with any luck, the girls across the table would put their feet on your feet, which, you know, seemed to indicate some sort of commitment, and it just, you know, I felt relaxed. I hope you never did that to anyone, Simone. Put your feet on their feet. You know what I mean? Like you're sitting there and you're sitting in a big room, and the girl at the table across there puts her feet on top of your feet. Did you used to do that?
I was very shy in school, Julian. Did you never think of being an architect?
Yeah, yeah. That's what I first wanted to be, actually, but I couldn't spell the word, so I soon gave up. And then someone told me you had to be good at maths, so that reinforced it. But I always thought that that would be a good occupation. It would give you instant respect, like being a gynecologist or something, you know?
Were you actually not academic? It quite surprised me when you said you didn't pass English, because I think of you as being very
no, I'm not,
eloquent.
I'm not academic at all. I'm kind of the anti-academic.
But I mean, at school, did you really not pass English?
No, I got 30. I got enough. You have to get over 30% before they tear up the paper, and I think I got like 35 or something at university entrance. The only thing that saved me was the Bauhaus. I wrote a long and passionate essay for art history about the Bauhaus, and that saved me, I think. Because that got, I think it was close to 100% or something like that for art history, and I was just banging on about the Bauhaus, how the Bauhaus was good, and it was a German word and stuff like that. And either the examiner was a Bauhaus freak or else that they were drunk, and I got a great grade, and that got me through to university. Haven't you heard that story, Simone?
No.
That's a good one. So I said, I love this. This is what we're trying to do on our back lawn, like with a big expanse of grass and a single tree. It's a good look, you know, infinity. It's space to look at, not space to use, space to look at. That's fine, no. So, forgive me if it's a, I've told the story a million times, maybe I have told you before, but I get kicked out of school or suspended from school because I won't do a drawing for the front of the school magazine of the school. That's what they asked me to do, because they said if I was doing so much art at school, they should have some kickback, and they decided that what the kickback should be would be me to do a drawing of the school on the front of the magazine. So I went out in the hot sun. That's probably when I got exposed to melanoma, actually. Maybe I could sue them. And I sat in the car park and did a few lines, and I think it was my first and only attempt at drawing figuratively, and it ended up with like a big scribble all across it. So I took it back to the teacher and said, look, I just can't do it. And the teacher was convinced I could draw, and I was convinced I couldn't. So he took that as a question of his authority. So next thing I ended up in the headmaster's office, and they were saying, well, if we asked you to do a maths puzzle, what would you say? I said, well, I'll do my best. But they'd say, well, if we asked you to do a maths puzzle and you just said I couldn't do it, then we'd have to ask you to leave. So I think you're just going to have to leave school until you're ready to come back and say you will do the maths puzzle. And it was lost on me what the hell we were talking about by that stage. And so I left school and didn't get university entrance accredited. And at that stage, what happened, basically, one kid out of 10,000 got it sitting. So of course, Mr. Optimist here thought I'll get it sitting. So for English, I wrote out the Sam Hunt poem, and I managed to get 35% for that. And then for art, I wrote the impassioned essay about the Bauhaus from the point of view of a 16-year-old. God knows what I said. I do remember asking for extra paper though, and which freaked out everyone else in the exam, because I was asking for extra paper and they couldn't even spell Bauhaus. And then the grades came back, and collectively to get university entrance by sitting, you had to have 200 marks, and you had to have over 30% in each mark for it to count. So I'd scraped through on, like, I think 31 and 33 on, or 35 on English or something, and then I got a very high mark in art. But by that stage I'd left home and had shifted to Auckland. I think I was still 16, maybe 17 by that stage. And my mother, bless her, said, oh, we'll go for a recount. So I'd get 190 points, and to get UE you had to collectively get 200. So my mother said, well, put in a recount, which was quite a lot of money actually. I think it was $40 at the time, which must have been a fortune, because I remember I was starting university a couple of years later. My entire rent for the entire house I lived in was like $14 a week. Anyway, Mum put in the recount, and instead of putting it in on the logical subjects, which were low, like English or maths or something, she put it in on my highest grade, which was already incredibly high, and had everyone tut-tutting, like it was 88% or something. So she said, well, that's not high enough, we'll put it in a recount on the art history. And that went up to like 98%. I get my extra points, and before you knew it, I was enrolled at university. But the thing is that, looking back on it, as I said, either the person marking it must have been drunk, or else they loved the Bauhaus, or else they probably decided there was some statistic saying that not enough kids had got in on recounts or something. And so it seemed strange that I went up to 200 marks exactly. But anyway, that's the gospel truth. And there I ended up at the university, and I was fine because I could get by just by chatting. But no, I ain't no academic.